Good dog, and welcome back to the Norwegian campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. If you are also Norwegian, I hope you had a happy 17th of May yesterday. But now though, let's go fight a German battlecruiser, supported by some destroyers, because they just keep pumping them out. And we're off. There we go. Let's see. I'm sending the cruisers and the escorts home because they just don't need to be around here, getting shot up by that battlecruiser. They're not going to be of much use in this little battle anyway. Let's see. 18.5-inch guns are in range now. And there we go, they are firing. We are not in range of the enemy 13-inch guns. The 16-inch guns on, let's see, is it Sten Sture and Holger Danske are also firing. 14s are not quite in range yet. And one of the 16-inch guns score a hit with a little bit of flooding. The enemy destroyers are clearly here in the smoke. Hindenburg returns fire. Gotta make sure none of my big guns are switching targets to those DDs that are not going to be a threat for a while. Pretty far out of range. Let's try with HE. See if we can get some juicy damage on the extended bits. Holy. Was that that was a big chunk of damage there from one of the 18s. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. 4-belt pen for 7,000. Nice. Yeah, the big caliber, high penetration HE does a really good job when it comes to whacking things for big damage like that. The 16s here on the battlecruiser. 14s can start working on those DDs. Yeah, high penetration HE versus lightly armored extended belts. That's pretty devastating. So it's pretty clear that my next class of capital ships with big guns should probably carry a lot more HE. Still gonna need AP to go through, actually go through those main belts, but there you go. Just 2 destroyers left. They're just, I don't know. Doesn't seem like they're actually going in for a torpedo attack. Maybe this guy is. V6. He found some courage, but seems to have lost most of his hull. And the secondaries are going in now too. The V6 goes down, V9 already hurting quite bad. And there we go. Very nice. And let's see, we've got one enemy heavy cruiser here, and yes, the Germans have tried to launch naval invasions against me. They do not have the tonnage to pull that off, but it means that we're not gonna get that peace treaty until these actually fail. It's gonna take a few months. Okay, Mark 5 20-inch guns. Let's see what you can do. Your almost 50-kilometer AP range. Let's see, we spotted the enemy quite far out. Almost in range. Almost in range already. I'm kind of tempted to these ships here, because the Mark 5 turrets are so small. I think it might be possible if I use that low barbette and increase the draft a bit, squeeze in another super firing turret like between these two, move the A turret a bit forwards, have a B turret on a low profile barbette here, and this will then be the C turret, super firing it. I think that would be a fun design. Let's drop down to a little bit of cruising speed. Cruising speed on these, it's quite low compared to some other ships, which I think might be just down to the well, they don't have as excessive funnel capacity as some ships because they only have one funnel. Ricochet. Where are those big hits? Okay, let's go with HE like we did last time. See if we can smack through some extended belts or decks or whatever. There we go. Let's put these on the thumbnail. Not sure if they've been. That is, of course, unless I can get that peace treaty this episode and pick up some war operations, in which case we're gonna do a lot of refits. Boom. I mean, suddenly not much left of this ship. there he goes. Nice. Alright, so let's see here. Oh yeah, they launched this one just now. So like that's gonna take it's gonna take a bit to actually fail. Let's send these here. 1 battleship and 2 light cruisers. It's one of those big super battleships again. Not the huge 140,000 ton. It's a more more mundane 122,000 ton battleship. Meanwhile, we've taken Prussia. Which is nice. Let's send these into port somewhere. Kiel. Let's see, these belong... Where was their home? It's down here, right? Coronia. And these... Oh yeah, they're the British ones. They live here in Belfast. Except for the one that somehow teleported all the way over here for repair. Which, like, typically when a ship teleports for repair, it's to a port that is kind of nearby. Never seen it traverse half the globe like that. That was actually new. Yeah, they do have some ships around. I kind of just want to get that peace treaty, but the main delay now, actually, these two. I have one invasion of my own going on here. It's gonna succeed next turn. Convoy battle, Embla, once again. Facing off against a Lübeck. I wouldn't be opposed to picking up a couple of Lübeck class light cruisers as war operations, if the Germans happen to have any of them left. It's a pretty neat looking hull, and you can build some okay looking ships on it. It just needs better firepower, basically. The armor isn't even half bad. One advantage it definitely has over the Bragi 2 class is tower spotting. Okay, this only has radar 1. Radar 3 isn't actually... it's a bit of an advantage. It's not that big of an advantage. Not as if it's twice as good. It's just... Let's see, radar 1 is plus 150%. Tower spotting, radar 2 is 200%. And radar 3 is 220. Let's see, do we have torpedoes on the enemy transports? Nope, we do not. Let's dump some torpedoes in the water and hope we get lucky enough to hit the enemy cruiser. Nado. We're gonna go for AP. Which in this case is the right choice. Gardens has lost some turrets, it seems. Now, Embla is starting to rack up an impressive number of enemy light cruiser kills and transports. Wittelsbach goes down. There's 2 transports left. Easy pickings. York surrenders. We're gonna surrender all 4 transports. Yeah. Although I don't think it's gonna be sailing to port. Alright. And there is one battle here. Light cruiser on light cruiser. The latest Tanngnjoster versus another Liebeck. Alright, if Embla can do it, this should be able to do it. Crew is not quite as experienced though, this being a brand new ship. But they got enough high-tech gadgets to help them carry the day. Let's see. Dresden. Closing in. Turn those off for now. Wait until we have the enemy on a straight course. 7-inch guns already scoring hits. Three-inch guns joining in. Those torps might miss just because the enemy is flooding so much. They're gonna get slowed down. Why are we not keeping up with the AP here? It was very effective. There we go. Good job. Now let's see, you got 100,000 tons of spare capacity. It's all gonna get overloaded next turn because I'm sending some task forces to port. And they all require a little bit of repair. But just for this month, I think we can resume repairs on Morgan Kane. Yeah. Onwards to June. Alright. Another frickin' naval invasion. Stop it, Germany. You don't have the tonnage to complete them. We might have to sink this, or at least damage it enough that it goes home for repairs. Because as long as they have enough tonnage here, they're going to keep launching naval invasions, even though they don't have the tonnage to actually see them through. Alright. Good night, you can go home. Thrud, you can just follow. Where's that big German sausage? There you are. It might actually have enough extended armor to stand up to my HE. Or maybe not. At 40,000 now I got 1.9 belt and 2.5 deck penetration. Yeah, maybe. If the game actually wants to give me deck hits, I can go through the extended decks. Well, let's try with the HE. Oh, we're actually doing things with AP now. Oh, wow. Now in this case, the HE seems less effective. Now that's probably because they have just enough armor to defeat the HE. But also just enough armor to arm the AP shells. Are we gonna get you healed over and angled soon, Poulsen? Not quite yet. Soon. I know they have a couple more of these in port, so I can just sink this. Not a huge disaster if I don't get it as war operations. She's still firing back. That third inner belt is 5.4 inches. That is equal to 54 inches of protection. There we go. Pulls and sinks. Now, Thrud, you can go slaughter these noobs. Battleships, you get one each. Should actually have enough HE pen to go through the main belts of these ships. They hit at a flat angle. Like that. Was that actually a main belt pen? 4-belt pen for 45,000 damage. Nice. Yeah, just partial pens on the main belt at almost 20 kilometers. Yeah, I guess it was close though. 4.6. I had 4.4 at that range. There we go. Great. This thing is twice as expensive as one of mine? Okay. Well, I guess it had twice the displacement and twice the number of guns, so that makes sense. I'm trying to invade Shetland. You're not gonna do that, Germany. I am a little bit over the shipbuilding capacity this month. Let's take out that light cruiser. What do we have here? 2 light cruisers. Let's send these to port as well. You can send one of the escorting cruisers to deal with the enemy light cruisers in the area. Let's see. Army advances are going well enough. Oh yeah, they've got Kiachao Bay still. My army might take it though. The Germans extended the war just enough that my army might actually accomplish a couple of things. Anyway, we need to suspend some construction while all of these repairs are going on. Magnus Lagaböte, you're gonna be a little bit delayed. As are these. Are we below capacity yet? No, not yet. Not yet. So Morgan Kane, you're gonna get delayed again. And you also. Is that... No! I need another 30,000 tons. Dovre. You're kind of on the wrong side of the world to be doing anything right now. So you can be delayed. Close enough. All right. Here we go. Destroyer attack. I think not. Okay. I think we do then. And we start out already in view range. Let's see, what do we have? J43 is the fastest one, so it needs to detach from the rest of the formation. I got two Vikings going one way. J43 and 38 going the other. How far away are we? Oh, we are in range. You can launch those torpedoes now, J43. Vikings are moving in. You have permission to launch. 29. We have torpedo hits on Heimdall. Why 29 did not launch, I do not know. There we go. We did get torpedo hits on it, and okay, it might sink actually. So much for keeping it alive and just damaging it. I think we've hit it enough. I might actually survive this. 4%. It's gonna take a lot of flooding though. It's the flooding is not going up quickly because it's such a huge ship. It's only have a single bottom. Could have fooled me. J38, get out of here. Like, J-43 still has torpedoes loaded on the other side, but that's a that's a pretty expensive DD to risk just to hit a battleship that we've already incapacitated. Mostly. No destroyers lost. Serious damage to Viking 29, but that's a Viking. It's not the end of the world. Okay, it might sink now because it's taking fire. And it's got both all engines out. And they lost sight of me. Are we gonna get the end battle thingy soon? Not quite yet. How fast are you going with all that flooding, Heimdall? 16 knots. It's honestly not too bad. But 4% structure, that's gonna be at least a year in port for repair. And I think they just repaired it this month. When the turn was loading, I think I saw a pop-up that Germany completed repairs on Battleship Heimdall. There we go. All destroyers survived. Heavy damage to Viking 29, but that's, well, very inexpensive ship. Heimdall, however, not very inexpensive. I still think I should have gotten more victory points for that, though. Considering it's, for one of these ships, like 200,000 for sinking it. Damaging it that heavily, it should be more than 10,000, I think. Let's sink a cruiser. Alright. Got my 2 battleships. Escorts can once again just leave. Because Leif and Torfinn can easily handle this on their own. Let's go with HE. We found that works really well on these heavy cruisers. Not too much. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And like that. That's a lot of flooding. Main gun destroyed. You can try with AP now. objective. Do a couple more salvos of that. Then finish off with HG. There we go. It's more flooding of the citadel. Kilometers. There we go. Nice. Very nice. Alright. Germany, you've got some ships bothering me. Let's see, what's this? One battleship. Fine, we'll meet you here. And Britain is scrapping a bunch of ships. Why are you doing that? Yeah, completed a repair of battleship Heimdall, which promptly went out and ate a bunch of torpedoes. Good job. Another one of the old Bragi 2 class light cruisers, and another one of the German Lübeck class light cruisers. We've seen this before. I think I know how it's gonna go. No transports this time around. Just a ship-on-ship duel. Of course, spotting range being my weakness here. I cannot see the enemy cruiser when it's laying down a smoke screen like that. Let's see if the torpedoes might do some work. And we're winning the shootout. That's pretty clear. Oh, that was so close with that one torpedo. Must have went like inches in front of the bow. And Brummer is already incapacitated. And there we go. So Embla is not the only one of these that can happily sink one German light cruiser and not break a sweat. And lastly, a convoy battle. I think we should see this fail next turn, maybe, or the turn after. Destroyer on destroyer. Oh, one of the new J-48s, the gunboats. That's perfect. We get to see if it's good at what it's supposed to be good at. Alright, last time one of my more gunboat-focused destroyers went up against a German destroyer, it almost went bad when one of the turrets flash-fired. This is a newer, more modern ship, but honestly it's not too different. And it does not have a veteran crew because it's brand new. Enemy destroyer spotted. V12. With 4 single 5.2-inch guns. So I've got 3 times the number of gun barrels with 4 triple 5.5-inch guns. Let's see if that's going to be enough. Now, I don't have a lot of torpedoes on this, being a quote-unquote gunboat destroyer. But we might still get lucky. Aiming them at the transport. I should have the enemy destroyer like in the beaten zone. That's 5 torpedoes away. Yeah, I don't carry reloads. That's right. So those 10 torpedoes, all I'm gonna get. The enemy destroyer also does not carry reloads and has now launched. And we score a torpedo hit on V12. Good start. But they're scoring gun hits on me. And I've knocked out an engine. Yeah, no, that's not good. I think J48 is gonna sink. But we might have incapacitated V12 as well. Yeah, we're taking quite a bit of flooding here. Is there an angle in which I can get my remaining turrets to fire? They found an angle. It's a bit difficult when the rudder is out, but Come on, B turret. Why are you not traversing? You should be operational. It's because the enemy destroyer is out of range. Because they've gone to defend the transport again. Very annoying. Transport is doing 13.7 knots. .4814 is doing 14.1. But V12, it's doing 21. But as long as I can catch up to the transport, yeah, I'll see if that is possible. Nah, this is taking too long. So that was a bit of a downer. I thought it would do better. Wasn't there a German light cruiser around here? Okay. At least I got one more here that's ready to go. Let's see. 11. I think this is the last turn this is active, and then it's gonna fail. Let's find out. Weren't we just at war? Yep, that invasion failed. Oh, come on, Germany! Like, can you stop that? Oh, let's see, what to send. Let's just unsuspend some of these repairs first. And the construction too, I guess. At least some of them. I guess these two. Yeah, close enough. Alright, so they have a battleship here too that is starting naval invasions. Alright. I got some battleships too, Germany. Strangely, we did not get a meeting here. But there is a convoy battle here. Another Lützow. All right. Let's see, can we get lucky with the torpedoes and hit that cruiser? Which is in this direction, actually. That will make things easier. So transports are here. And the escorting cruiser is of course circling around where they are. So I'm just going to do my usual trick of aiming the torpedoes at the transports. And just hope that the cruiser gets caught in between. Wow, they're very far away. I thought I was almost in torpedo range, but no, far from it. Let's see. Closing in on torp range. The enemy transports do not carry torpedoes. Let's wait for Siegfried to actually just put torpedoes on Markgraf. I just want them to be on the course that they're gonna be on, and not launch my torpedoes when just as the ship is turning, because then they won't hit anything. That's why I'm not aiming directly at the cruiser, because it's doing too much weird maneuvering. There you go, secondaries on the transport if we get that close. Doubtful that any of those torpedoes are gonna hit the cruiser. There are just so many transports in the way. Maybe? I mean, getting lucky is always an option. But I think not. Oh, it's close though. Kind of close. AP main guns. Rudder is out on Prince Eugen. But you've got lots of torpedoes, don't you? Is that a flash fire on the, I guess, one of the turrets? Was it the A turret again? I'm curious. It was. I saw I blew up the underwater tubes. Now I'm just watching for the deck-mounted launchers. See when they launch. while it does not have any any more crew for those torpedo launchers, so I found out that does not necessarily mean it's not able to launch torpedoes. But sometimes they just do that. I'm safe from its main guns as long as I'm crossing in front of it, because the A turret blew up and B turret is incapacitated. They were the only ones with like arcs of fire to the front. I am taking hits, but not a lot of damage. There we go. Yeah, it did launch. You're not allowed to do that, you know. Because now I got a pretty flat angle on you. And it's gonna be funny if some of these torpedoes hit the transports. As I said, they're very, very tough ships. Let's see. You like playing with torpedoes, Eugen? Hope you do. Those were aimed way in front. What were you doing here, Be the Blind? Oh, you were aiming your torpedoes at a transport because I was dumb. Never mind, I'm sorry. My bad. Oh, one of them actually hit. No, both were duds, I think. Yeah, both were duds. Because it started maneuvering. If I'd been smart and watched where those torpedoes were aimed, because in this case, aiming them at the cruiser was actually what I wanted to do. That first volley might have hit. Still in it, but I think we're now getting the last bits of flooding. How about you try firing some HE, AP, I mean. There we go. Now it's transport time. And I'm just gonna sail my cruisers up the line of transports. And have them slaughter everything. Yeah, 3-inch guns doing the majority of the work here. Alright. We got it sunk. Now, I was so ready for this episode to just be a couple of quick battles and then skipping through turns with nothing happening a couple of times until the naval invasions ran out. But Germany kept launching new ones. So you got this one that's gonna last a couple more months. Let me just make sure I'm getting this here. And we got this one, which will last at least 4 more months until it fails. And of course the Germans have more battleships to fight. Active fleet, 1 battleship. That can't be right, because they've got 1 active battleship here, and they've got 1 here. So they've got at least 2 that are active. 1 being repaired. 1 here too, maybe being repaired or commissioned. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, I guess we've got another episode of war with Germany left to go. I'm like a couple thousand tons over, and that's enough to wipe out my monthly balance. If I suspend you, there we go, no longer over capacity, and suddenly monthly balance goes from minus 1.7 billion to plus almost 4 billion. It doesn't take much. Yeah, goodbye, and take care.